for a while. Can you see our module this time?
Yes, Doc.
Yes, Doc.
Have we started this last meeting? Have we started with this meeting?
Yes, Doc. Last meeting po.
Okay, so where are we now? We have the objectives. And I think we answered this one. So we are now in our analysis. And we have, I think, covered everything here, right? As what I have said, you can download. No? You can download. Now for the application, I am not going to give you an assignment for that because our concentration will be more on the writing of your proposal. So let me start now with your proposal. How are you going to have your proposal? Unless there are questions which you would like to ask now before we proceed to the proposal portion. Are there questions? Questions, please? So nobody would like to ask questions. No? Now, for those who are just attending the class today, do not worry because if you need an explanation, you can go for a consultation. Because as what I have explained last time, we are having three approaches here. We have the online class, we have the module, and we have also the consultation. So you can use any of those. If ever you cannot attend, you still have two. You can look at the modules or you can ask for a consultation. Am I understood? So we can proceed. How do we form our consultation, proposal? Are there questions? Please make your answer. Is everything clear when we discussed last meeting? Bakit wala kayong sagot? How can I know if you have problems or not? So if there are no questions, let's proceed to the making of your proposal. Okay. Medyo maingay ang aso talaga. Ayaw huminto ng mga aso. Okay, the first thing is, how are you going to have your title? What will be the basis of the title? So there are some considerations that you have to follow. For example, as what we have discussed last meeting, a research can be replicated, but it cannot be duplicated. And what do we mean by that? When we say replication is allowed, but not duplication. The explanation is very clear. You are not just made to copy in total the work of others. You may have the same study or a similar study, but you are going to make your own way of performing. It's not just copying or copying totally what others have already found out. Sorry. Manoy, nagsaba diha ba? Hello?
Hello.
Eh, wala na yata. Ano ba to? Sabi
Hello,
ko,
Doc.
sumagot kayo. Kung walang sagot, magtanong kayo. So, go on.
No? Good morning po, Doc.
Good morning, Sir Rex. Yes, Sir Rex. What would you like
Good morning
to say?
Po. Wala pa akong grupo.
Yung palang Okay. Hindi yung kulang pa ang group. Nandito si Sir Rex. Wala pa raw siya.
Adapt na ako po.
Okay? What group is still lacking? Kulang pa. O yung wala pang grupo para mag-isa kayo. Who else? Sino pa ang walang kagrupo? Now, do not worry, Sir Rex, kasi maabot kayo ng 50. I think we have a group. Oo. Hindi pa lang siguro nakakapasok lahat.
Apo.
Pero
Thank you po, Doc.
based on my query, kung ilan na kayo, they are saying magpi-50 na kayo. And therefore, when I ask that, medyo matagal-tagal na yon. So, sige man nag-i-enrollment, I think umabot na kayo ng 50. So, let me know from you, no? Let me know from you. Sa'yo, Sir Rex, anong gusto mong sabihin o gusto mong itanong tungkol dito sa paggawa ng thesis, no? What if the panel members would tell you to add? Tapos ka na-answeran mo na lahat. Nag-pre-present ka na lang. Then all of a sudden, isang panelist ang magsasabing, Sir, padadagdagan ko sana ng isang question yan. Ano yun? Mag-yes ka lang ba kagad, sir? Or would you ask for some consideration? Or what?
Ano siguro ako, Doc, na hindi ko pa alam kung anong gagawin pa po, Doc.
So, yun na nga, natapos mo na ang trabaho mo. Gustong padagdagan. Pagkatapos mong gawin lahat yung gusto ng panel, then all of a sudden, merong isang sasabihin na, gusto kong dagdagan pa ng isang question. So, ibig sabihin, babalik ka sa mga respondents, participants, or subjects. And that would not be easy for you.
Hindi na dagdagan ang question po, Doc, kasi yung nagawa ko naman,
Okay?
gawa ko naman yung and then it is pa man sa part ko, Doc, difficult naman sa part ko kung ulitin ko naman yung gawain ko.
How are you going to say that to your panel?
Siguro I will tell them na i-consider na lang yung aking trabaho kasi ginawa ko naman ang best ko na matapos yung thesis na yun, Doc.
Okay, wala naman silang question, no? Sa thesis mo, nasagot. Kaya lang, meron isang gustong padagdagan. Yun ang problema.
Opo.
And now you are saying that siguro sasabihan mo na lang na hindi siguro na lang dadagdagan kasi tapos na ako. Yun man ang nakalagay sa proposal. Yung proposal kasi ay parang contract yan. Kung anong nakalagay sa kontrata, yun ang susundin. So therefore, but you should do in such a way na with respect also. No? Gawin ninyo with respect. And then the best thing for you is to ask the help of your advisor. Because during the defense, your advisor will be with you. Kasama niyo ang advisor ninyo. Isa siya sa dapat tumulong na mag-answer if in case there are questions wherein that researcher could not answer. At isa yan. Kasi syempre, mahihiya kayong sabihin sa panel na wa man na ilabot, kuan nganong paapilan man na wa man na ilabot, no? So therefore, you cannot say that also. You have to talk to your advisor and say, ma'am, paano ito ma'am? Tapos naman ang study ko. Pero yung pinadadagdagan ng question na wala man yan sa proposal ko. So therefore, your advisor must also be able to defend you. The best thing for you is to say that praising first, no? You may say, I am so thankful that you have another or you have an additional idea for my paper, but I would like to tell you that I am done already with the ones which were approved during my proposal, and probably I would be meeting some problems if I would be going back and gather. And good, if I can still talk to them, baka wala na dyan ng kakausapin ko. But I would say the question is good. I just suggest that I will be putting that in the recommendation only. So isa sa i-recommend ninyo. Ibig sabihin, hindi nyo na yan babalikan. So ilagay nyo na sa recommendation so that another researcher or group of researchers will do the answering, hindi kayo. Now, I'm telling you this kasi kung minsan naiiyak yung researcher, tapos na siya. Therefore, you should know the rule, no? Ang proposal ay parang kontrata yan. Kung ano ang laman ng proposal, yun lang din ang dapat sundin. So, hindi dapat na pahirapan wherein additional questions will be given. In the first place, hindi nyo kasalanan yun. Bakit hindi nila inubos yung gusto nilang malaman? Kaya nga ang panel dapat uma-attend, umuupo, nakikinig. Because sometimes meron dyan, napalakad-lakad lang, pasok, labas. So, what do you expect them to give as help in improving your work? Kung sila mismo hindi gaanong nagbibigay ng time, no? So the thing is, you should have the knowledge. Dapat nandyan sa kalooban ninyo, sure kayo na hindi na yan dapat answeran kasi wala naman sa pinag-usapan. Out na siya sa proposal. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
But do it in the proper way. Ayaw po pag siya kasi nanong duganan nga, human naman, tapos sabi niya, ingon si Ma'am Aga, basta kuno na human na sa proposal, dili na utro-utrohon. Ganun na. Do it in the proper way. Do it in the proper way.
Opo.
So, ganun. And that's why, pumili kayo ng advisor na tutulungan kayo, i-defend din kayo kung may problema. So I hope that is clear. So we said you're going to read first articles and then you meet, and out of those articles, you try to form your real title. And with the title, you give the rationale. Ano yung rationale? The rationale is the reason why you are choosing that title. Bakit yan ang gusto ninyong pag-aralan? If you are in a group or even if you are alone. Okay, so there. So Paki-off po muna ang sound niyo para naririnig ng maigi, no? So, there. You have, from that, if you have the title, huwag kayong balat sibuyas na sasabihin, ay, naano tayo title, baguho na pa. Ganon talaga kasi you have to be helped. Kaya merong title proposal. Sa atin, kasi naghahabol tayo ng oras, instead na gumawa pa kayo ng title proposal, diretso tayo ng proposal defense, chapters 1 and 2. Dalawa lang, 4 man na chapters yan. Pero dalawa lang ang gagawin ninyo. And then, simplify things, no? Simplify things. What I am trying to tell you this time, do expect that during the proposal defense, may mga changes na mangyayari sa papel ninyo. Kasi nga, yung dapat na i-improve ng maigi ay ang proposal. Because it will be the basis of what you are going to do in order to make your final paper. So, dyan marami ang mga questions. Mas mahirap mag-defend ng proposal kesa sa final. Kasi ang final, a-answeran nyo man lang ang questions ng proposal. Pero sa proposal, dyan kayo talagang tatanungin. Maasinsinang pagtatanong. That's why we are making it as the contract. Yun ang kontrata niya. As I said, when you go to chapters 3 and 4, magpa-final defense kayo, the panel will just be after looking whether you have followed those which have been discussed during the proposal. Sinunod nyo ba ang proposal? As well as did you answer all the questions? Kapag lahat siya na-answeran or naging okay na sa kanila, there may be some more corrections, but they would be more on editing, on how to edit your work. Kung meron mang kulang, sasabihan kayo na medyo kulang ang answer mo, hindi mo natumbok ang tamang answer. Maaari dyan. And your advisor. The advisor is very important. The advisor should be with you. Kapartner nyo yan. Kaya nga, when your paper is done, and then the paper should be presented to the public already. But you are not available. Therefore, the advisor can take your place, being the advisor. Because the making of a thesis is not just the work of the researcher. It is also the work of the advisor. So hindi pwedeng ang advisor ay yes lang ng yes sa'yo. Dapat binabasa niya ang trabaho mo. Yan ang nagiging problema. Kapag binibili lang ang libro. Because I'm sure, kahit yung advisor, hindi makakasagot sa mga tanong yan. Mahuhuli kagad yung mga sa defense. Mahuhuli kagad yung mga nangongopya lang. At nakakahiya. Take note, mga professional tayo. We have our professions, our degrees. And our profession never taught us to be dishonest. Pwede tayong patulong. But see to it, hindi yung totally binibili nyo yung paper nyo. Maraming tinda ngayon, kahit sa internet, no? Nagtitinda na those who are writing their thesis. If you find it hard, contact us, we will be writing for you. Ano yun? Ano ibig sabihin nun? And where do you think will they also get the researches? Sa dami ba ng mga natapos ngayon, papalitan lang ang mga pangalan ng honors niyan? And then they are making money out of you. Kaya nga sabi ko, kung ganyan lang din ako, bibili lang din yan ng mga kinopya, mga researches, kayo na lang ang bumili, mura pa, kaysa sa magbayad kayo ng mahal. Magkano man lang, kahit sabihin pa natin ipagbili yung isang libro ng 5,000, kaysa naman sa magbabayad kayo ng 150,000. Di bilhin nyo na lang, kayo na lang ang bumili. But that's not also good. Because that is plagiarism. At ang nakakahiya kapag nahuli, as what we had mentioned last meeting, yung senador, and I think magiging very strict ngayon ang government officials natin. Lalo na nabuksan na ngayon yung tinatawag na academic or intellectual prostitution. Kaninang umaga may nabasa ako sa Facebook. Isang superintendent somewhere in Luzon. Have you read that?
Yes, Doc.
Suspended, yeah. Because of money making. Kasi marami talagang may mga posisyon ngayon na ginagamit yan eh. Although yung na-mention kanina ay hindi naman thesis. Pero alam ng marami na ultimo yung mga principal ang siyang humahawak sa mga thesis na ipinagbibili o ipinagagawa ng mga teachers. And that is what we call as what are we empowered for? Nasa kamay namin kayo. Gusto ninyong ma-promote? Okay, so dito kayo sa amin. Dito kayo sa aming grupo. Kaya nga itinayo ko yung grupo namin na Sunday to protect, to help those students. Huwag kayong magpapaloko. Anong klase yan? Pwede walay kwan. May nagtanong na sa amin. Mang tinuod na nga, naay kwan diri, MA nga dili mo attend, magbayad lang. Diyos kong sarap sampalin, no? Just imagine, sabihan ka ng ganyan at point blank. Na ako no, diri ma'am MA nga dili mag-attend, dili mo attend, magbayad ra, pati ang thesis. Sabi ko sana mahuli na yung mga taong yan eh. And we know, well, konsensya naman, okay, kumikita ka nga ng malaki, pero that may bring you to downfall. Baka mamaya mapahiya ka at maging cause pa yan para mawalan ka ng trabaho. Ang alam ko kasi kapag ganyang natatanggal na trabaho, lahat yata ng privileges ninyo tatanggalin din sa public. Is that true? Kunyari may nahuling may ginagawang hindi tama at mapaparusahan ng malaking kaparasahan. Ibig sabihin, tatanggalin siya sa trabaho. Ang mangyayari din dyan, matatanggal din pati yung mga receivables niya. Kasakit naman kung medyo matanda na siya. Na yun na lang hinihintay niya, tapos mawawala pa. Plus, yung kahihiyan. Magpatulong lang kayo. Huwag kayong magpadala ng kwanan. We know you're very busy, pero hindi magandang pakinggan yung binibili lang ang kurso. Just imagine, tinatawag na tayong mga prostitutes. Pag narinig ng mga bata yung term na prostitution, di ba nila alam na intellectual or anong klaseng prostitution, pero nasa isip niyan. Masama, mga prostitutes tayo. And that is something na which will bring downfall to our course. Okay. I was also looking at the first semester. May mga estudyante akong tinawagan kasi hinahanapan ko, paano ko bibigyan ng grado? Hinahanapan ko ng assignments nila. Walang maibigay. So, ibig sabihin, ano bang ginagawa? Na lahat ginawa na, meron pang consultation, meron pang online, meron pang module, tapos walang, I understand, very busy, but with all the help, hindi naman pwedeng bigyan ng grado yan na walang ginagawa. Kahit konti. We have to sacrifice because we make the choice of earning a living at the same time studying. Kaya naman natin yan. Kaya natin gawin. Pero gumawa tayo ng tama. So yun, ang sabi, ang kwan nila is mag-submit pa di ay Diyos ko, sabi ko, isang semester tayong nagkita. So ibig sabihin, hindi siguro umaaten. At meron ding nagsabi na, wamanggit ko ka-aten adto ma'am. Sabi ko yung consultation, wala po. Yung module, lagi, busy man lagi ma'am. Ay sabi ko, wala tayong magagawa. 3 na yung ibinigay na option, wala ka pa rin ginawa. So therefore, what do you expect? Hindi ko naman pwedeng ipamigay ang grado ko. I don't think so. Sabi ko, nasa akin ang pagkukulang because as far as I know, basta kaya ko, ibibigay ko lahat ang learning na dapat nandyan. Pero nung kaya nga sabi ko na, bakit may nagtatanong ng gano'n na, ma'am na ay MA diri nga, dili mo attend, unya mo bayad lang sa thesis? Wow! Ang laki sampal sa akin, no, research director akong tinanong. So in other words, lalo na kayo, nasa Sabado kayo, no? Kumbaga, kayo yung mga freelancer. Hindi katulad ng linggo na hawak namin ang linggo. Yung grupo, for example, namin sa linggo, yung panglinggo, from the time na mag-enroll kaming may hawak dyan, tinutulungan na namin sila. Pati yung promissory note, tinutulungan na rin namin sila dahil we would like them to finish their work on time and at the same time, yung hindi sila gaanong nahihirapan. That's why we are 4 teachers looking at them. Nag-uusap, nagmi-meeting kami, anong problema? Kung bakit sabi ko, anong problema? Ma'am, daot gyud ang online namo, ma'am. Tapos sabi ko nga, modules. Di gyud ko ka-open, ma'am, sa modules. Kay kuan manggod, ma'am, kanang wala manggod lagi linya sa amo. Sabi ko, kung may mga kuan, pwede ka mag-request sa mga classmates mo, padalahan ka ng soft copy. Or sa akin, sabi ko, hingi ka ng soft copy. Ilagay natin, sabi ko, pwede ka namang mag-contact sa akin kasi gumagamit ka ng cellphone. Gumamit tayo ng cellphone. Sa pag-a-answer, ha? Ma'am, naglisod ko, manggod ko ka-attend, ma'am, sa pag-explain ni mo. O sige, explain na ako sa imo. Consultation na yan. So palagay ko, I have done my best. Pero wag naman i-take for granted na magpapagrado, walang ginawa. So, mahirap man, sabi niyo, mahirap. Kahit ako noon, nasa isip ko. That's why I was even surprised. Ba't ako kinuha na research director? Doon pa sa dating eskwelahan. Na isa man lang ang nagawa kong research, yung thesis ko man lang. And then I do not like numbers, hindi ako magaling sa numero. Pero sabi nga, trabaho lang ng tao, natututunan. Nandito lang naman ako para tumulong sa inyo. Kahit hindi kayo nabilong sa grupo ko o sa grupo namin, we're also extending help to you, especially those who are our students in our classes. Kung ano yung itutulong ko dun sa mga Sunday school students ko, ganun din naman ang ibibigay ko sa inyo na tulong on how to make your work. Okay, so huwag niyong sabihin na, Juan, yung Sunday yun. No, hindi. Meron lang mga reasons kung bakit nag-Sunday. Una dyan is religion. Hindi sila pwedeng umaten ng Sabado because of their religion. Pangalawa, ang sabi ng karamihan, kapag Sabado daw, kahit noon pa wala pang pandemic, ang sabi ng mga teachers, ma'am, di mi ka-attend. Why? Mag-boy scouting man, ma'am. Mag-meeting, ma'am. So, merong trabaho sa eskwelahan. Bangga sa pag-aaral. O sige. So ngayon, naku, kinang ko na, okay, let's do this para matulungan. And happy naman ako because I started with 20 plus, 20 lang na estudyante. But last semester, it rose to 100 plus. So I said, hindi ko kakayanin kung mag-isa lang ako. That's why I asked to join the group. Apat na kami ngayon. Apat na kami may hawak ngayon ng Saturday. And then, Sunday kami nagklaklase. So aside from this, marami namang grupo sa Sunday. Meron doon na din, nag-o-offer din sila ng help kasi hindi naman makakaya ng isa lang yan. But that is it. Pwedeng patulong. There is no question about that. You can ask help. But the help doesn't mean to say that you are just going to pay. Protektahan po natin ang dignidad ng pagiging teacher natin. Nangyari na yan last time, hindi ba? Kaya napalayas yung University of the Visayas at University of Southwestern University nang magpunta dito sa Davao City. Ang dami nilang pinagraduate. Pinagraduate na hindi mo nakitang nag-aral. Tapos bigla na lang sinabihan na magpunta sa Cebu at graduate na. Yes? Yes, ma'am. Sir? Jeffries? Lalaki ba si Sir Jeffries? Babae? Si Mr. po ba ito o si Mrs. Reco Studio?
Mrs.
Si Miss? Miss pa?
It's Mrs.
Okay. Ma'am, what would you like to say? Pag-off muna ang mga sound ng iba para we can hear her. Come in, Ma'am Jackie.
Yung sa University of Visayas, some of my colleagues have been enrolled in programs.
It's because we're dealing with people.
Ma'am Chris, go ahead. Ma'am
Yes,
Chris,
Doc.
go ahead.
Yes, Doc. Kung about sa University of Visayas.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Ito siya nga system nila na ingana ang nahitabo pero ang uban karon naga-continue kay kung mga kauban diha man ga-continue pero nag-adto na gyud sila kuan Cebu.
Oo, kasi hindi na allowed ang Cebu magpunta dito at magklase dito. Kaya ang daming graduate noon. Ang dami.
Yes, Doc. Kay dako sila for example ni anhi sila diri sa amo sa Agusan del Sur. Ang teachers ang mo gasto sa ilang plane ticket tanan para magtudlo.
That's true. Kaya lang, ayan, nahuli, pinagbawal na kasi hindi naman dapat ganon eh. In fact, I attended. Umattend ako dyan sa isang kanila session. Pero yun nga, nakaka-discourage. Kaya sabihan ka man na, okay, reporting tayo. Tapos ang report, when I raise my hand or my handkerchief up, start with your report. If I put it down, stop with your report. Eh, hindi pa nga nangangalahati eh. Nag-put down na. Nag-prepare ang teacher para sa report niya eh. And then she even made a comment, you're talking too much daw sa nagre-report. Alangan, di ba pag pinare-report tayo, we prepare. Kaya gusto natin magandang report. Sa kanya hindi siya interesado. Tapos, all of a sudden, nagpuntahan na sa Cebu, graduation na raw. Tapos na. Kaya nag-react ang mga universities and colleges dito sa Davao City. At hindi na sila nakapasok. Okay. So, ang iba yata inabutan at hindi na kinonsider ang kanilang mga records. Totoo yan. Yung kahit naman, sige, magkuhan tayo sa ibang eskwela, pero let us see to it that it's not just money making. So, yun ang nangyari. Kaya hindi na sila nakapasok ng Davao City. And I think our government is trying its best now to help, no? Because as what I have heard, ang USP mag-o-offer na ng medicine. Mura pa niya ng USP. Mag-o-offer din ng law. By the way, ba't hindi kayo mag-take advantage na mag-apply for scholarship? Ang daming scholarships ngayon, kahit sa masters.
Asa mag-apply, Doc?
Sa CHED. Yeah, marami ngayon. Kasi yan ang nakalagay ngayon dun sa batas CMO 15. The teachers should be helped on their studies. May mga libre ng pag-aaral ngayon. Kahit nga dito sa school, sinasabihan na yung mga sige na, mag-apply na kayo. First time na nangyari sa Pilipinas yan, na maraming scholarships ang ino-offer. Kasali na dito yung sa graduate school at saka sa postgraduate.
Pero Doc, usually kay na ay mga limits pareha sa age ana.
Of course, kasi siyempre, kahit naman son, gumagastos ang gobyerno natin para sa ganun, makasilbi. Eh, siyempre, kung katulad ko, kunyari, 71 years old na ako, hindi nga ako dapat tanggapin dahil ilan naman lang ang may share ko rin. Gagastusan ako ng ilang taon na pag-aaral. And this is not only here in the Philippines. Merong mga offer din na mag-abroad, doon sila mag-aral, exchange program. Ginagastusan din ng gobyerno yan. Ang daming offer ngayon. may mga lang sila conditions. Like for example, you cannot just, after graduation, you cannot just transfer. You still have to serve the school kung saan ka nakakuha ng scholarship. I think it's 3 years. So kung kunyari, kailangan, in demand ka na talaga, hindi ka makawala kasi nakakontrata ka. That you have to serve at least 3 years. Pero you try, ang daming scholarships eh. Ngayon na ino-offer. Dami yan. Although, mas maraming scholarships na ang mga kurso ay agriculture. Yan ang karamihang ino-offer ngayon. No? Malaki ang offer sa kanila yung mga technical courses. Marami rin.
Hello, Doc. May question po ako.
Yes, Sir Van Spencer.
Ang scholar po ba sa CHED is yung para sa mga public teacher lang po ba?
No. Kaya nga sinasabihan namin ng mga teachers dito mag-apply ng scholarship. Nandyan na yan sa CMO natin na merong equity, hindi lang public schools ang papaaralin, pati mga private schools meron din. You try to go to the CHED at tanungin ninyo ano yung mga formang kailangan, ano yung mga requirements.
Okay po, Doc. Thank you.
In fact, today, ito lang ang narinig ko kila Dr. Cabinto, yung tawagan na sila ng tawagan dun sa mga pina-apply ng scholarship kasi parang magde-deadline yata na. That's why they are being asked, go na and finish everything that you need in your application. You can go to the CHED. Marami ang makikita ninyo ngayon na offer nila. Okay. Kaya siguro baka later on gawin ng gobyerno na baka libre ng pag-aaral eh. So that's a chance given to you. So let's go back. Now you have there na. You have decided on the title. But then you have to ask one another, bakit ito? Why are we going to have the question for what is the rationale or the rationale of your study? Meaning, what are the reasons that you have that you settle to have this study? And you can base them on your readings. Ang readings ninyo dapat into 3 levels. International issues, national issues, local issues. So ibig sabihin sa pagbabasa ninyo, internationally, anong problema tungkol dito sa title na ito? And then nationally, sa Pilipinas, ano ang problema natin? And then locally, dito sa Davao City or in the place where you are coming from, what is the problem regarding that title that you have in mind? That would be suffice to answer the so-called rationale of your title. Yun ang mailalagay nyo dyan. Okay. So i-reserve nyo lahat yan because I said hindi na tayo magta-title defense, diretso kayo. Because the same questions will be asked in the proposal defense. Tatanungin pa rin kayo niyan. Okay, let us presume you have already your rationale, you have there. Then, you have to come up with what we call as, what are the questions or the problems that you would like to answer? Ano yun? Or what are those problems which you would like to be used in looking for your data or answers to the questions? So you have there the rationale, then you have your questions, you have to have your literatures, studies, and as what I have said last meeting, 10% literatures, 90% researches. dapat mas marami ang researches. Kaya nga tinawag siyang research. More on studies. What I mean is 10% literature, 90% studies. Yung mga thesis. And by that you will be also helping in the so-called utilization of the researches of other people. Kapag binasa nyo, utilization yun. Okay, so you have there. Then you have to make your theoretical conceptual framework. So kailangan may theoretical conceptual framework kayo. Then after that, kung quantitative, meron pang definition of terms and significance of the study. Sa qualitative, sa umpisa pa lang makikita na yan. Okay, when you have your questions, the statement of the problem, that will also go with the so-called hypothesis. Hypothesis is a wise guess on the relationship and differences of the data collated. Ang qualitative, walang hypothesis yan. Because we are going to deal more on the experiences. We don't look for differences. We don't look for similarities or relationships. We look at the experiences of people. That's why there is no such thing as generalizability in a qualitative research because it is only coming from few people. Ang quantitative, there should be a generalization because we are talking about a big number who would be answering. So there, you have already those things with you up to the hypothesis. Then you go to chapter 2. Chapter 2 would be talking more on the so-called procedure that you're going to have. So method mo, anong magiging method mo? What will be your design? Will it be quantitative? Will it be qualitative? Pili ka. And once you have there, then you have to explain first, what is quantitative? What is qualitative? Then after that, you go for the instrument. In what means are you going to gather data? Instruments or tools? No? Instruments or tools. So if you have them already there, you go to the participants, the subjects or the respondents. Kapag ang study ay quantitative, ang tawag sa magbibigay sa inyo ng data o yung mga tatanungin ninyo ay respondents. If you are making a qualitative study, the term now becomes participants. And if you're going to have experimental, you call them as your subjects. So iba-iba ang pangalan nila. Respondents for quantitative studies, participants for qualitative studies, and subjects for experimental studies. So you have there the instrument. What instrument are you going to use? Questionnaire ba siya? Test ba siya? Is there a difference between a questionnaire and a test? Anyone? Anong pagkakaiba kapag sinabi natin, pass your questionnaires tomorrow? So, pass your test questions tomorrow. Aside from the spelling, anong pagkakaiba ng dalawa? Any opinion?
Ma'am, a test is graded.
Yes, ma'am.
A test is graded.
That's right, ma'am. What about a questionnaire?
It doesn't need to be graded. It just needs to be collated.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other answer or opinion? Yes, Ma'am Maita was correct in saying tests are going to be corrected and they will have their equivalent rating. May grado ang test. Ang questionnaire, wala. Why? Because a questionnaire is opinionated. There is no such thing as correct or right answer. Depende ko ano ang feeling or understanding ng sumasagot. In other words, unlike the test, exact ang answer. Pagdating sa questionnaire, iba-iba according to how we feel or how we understand things. Kaya hindi siya grinagraduhan. Kaya careful tayo mga teachers, no? Pag kunyari magte-test, okay, study your lessons, be ready, because I have already prepared the questionnaires. So, hindi dapat mag-study ang estudyante kasi ang itatanong ay hindi naman mag-a-ask kung tama or mali ang answer. Kung hindi, ano yung feeling o ano yung nalalaman ng nag-a-answer. Ang test, 1 plus 1, talagang 2 yan. May credit siya, may grado siya, may points siya. Sabi nga ni Ma'am Maita, collection of data for questionnaires. And there is no such thing as rating for that because we do not, it's something which has no right or wrong answer. Everything is accepted. Yun ang questionnaire. So, minsan kasi nakakakita tayo sa blackboard, deadline for the submission of test questionnaires. Dalawa pang ginamit, test pa, questionnaire pa. Test questions lang. No? Ibig sabihin, merong eksaktong answer. Ang questionnaire, wala. Depende lang kung ano ang choice natin. Kaya nga naka-label siya, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sabi, excellent, very satisfactory, fair, poor. So hindi, walang sinasabi dyan na katulad ng 100%, ganun, wala. Yun ang pagkakaiba. And the questionnaire or all of these, what we call as instruments, should undergo validity testing. Ano yung validity? How does it differ from reliability? Validity is what? Validity is giving answer to what is going to be measured. We measure on what is supposed to be measured. For example, valid ba siya? Ang isang grade 1 ay kumuha na ng algebra. Hindi siya valid. Because we are not measuring. We cannot measure yet the intelligence of a grade 1 pupil in terms of algebra. Unless kung yung batang yan ay tinatawag nating genius. Kasi may mga genius ngayon na nakaka-answer ng mga ganyan, ano? What we call a super, what is this? Abnormal still, but of the highest degree. Kasi masyadong bright. So there. So, validity measures what is supposed to be measured. Pag galit tayo at nagbigay tayo ng test, valid ba ang test? Please answer. As punishment, saba ang klase. Ala, anong sasabihin ng teacher? Get a piece of paper. Test tayo. Is the test valid?
No, Doc.
Why, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. Check Chris again. Reco Studio. Why not valid?
Punishment lang man siya, Doc. So, it will not be
Okay. What are we measuring? When we say validity is measuring what is to be measured. Anong mine-measure natin? Yung galit natin? Yung leksyon ba o yung galit ang mine-measure? Kaya tayo nagbigay ng test kasi galit tayo, maingay ang klase.
Yung
So,
Doc,
yes sir? Sino yung nagsasalita? Sir Spencer, are you the one?
yung subject po,
Go ahead, sir. Okay, sir? Malayo siguro si sir, hindi na maabot.
yung
Go ahead.
subject po ang mini-measure po natin, Doc.
Sandali lang po ha, kasi may magdadaan na naman nagtitinda ng isda. Okay. So that's true, no? Kasi we are not measuring what is supposed to be measured. Ang dapat na i-measure yung leksyon, hindi yung galit ng teacher. Kaya dapat, wag i-count yan at ilagay ang score dun sa lesson plan kasi that is invalid. It just came out because of the anger. Okay, not because you would like to measure what is going to be measured. So aside from validity, there is still one test that should be given to our instrument, and that is reliability. But only the quantitative studies are given the so-called reliability tests. Why? Because in the qualitative research, there are just very few who would be answering. We only refer the validity or the reliability of the answers we collate through the or by measuring the saturation of the answers. What do we mean by that? If for example, you have the question and with so many styles of asking, the answers are still the same or similar. Therefore, the question has been saturated. Kahit anong gawin mong style ng pagtatanong, ganun pa rin ang sagot ng tinatanong mo, saturated siya. That is the equivalent of reliability. But when it comes to what we call as the quantitative research, we need to compute. Iko-compute natin yan using Cronbach alpha or probably using reliability test also, yung Pearson R. Gagamitan niya, no? And the result should be 0.7, at least 0.7. What do you think is the perfect score for reliability? Ano yung pinaka perfect score for reliability? Is it the same as our test, 100, ganon? Yes? So how do you know that your test is reliable? Pwede mo nang ipamigay. How? You measure it by reliability. And the rule says that the reliability should have at least a rating of 0.7. Dapat umabot siya ng 0.7. Or else, the instrument or the tool is unreliable and would be needing improvement kapag hindi umabot sa 0.7. That's why I'm asking you, ano pala ang pinakamataas na grado o ang perfect score for reliability? Anyone? Ay, pinagdaanan nito sa kwan, sa undergrad ninyo. Okay? So kapag ang reliability mo ibig sabihin wrong computation kasi hindi siya lang talaga. It should reach at least 0.7. Okay. So we have there, no? Nasa instrument na tayo. And then next to that will be the data gathering procedure. Ito madugo ang data gathering procedure. Especially now, ngayon, meron ng isang grupo aside from the panel. And from that, all those which I have discussed with you, yan po ang coverage ng proposal. Limutan dahil ma-plagiarize ang in your manuscript, lahat ng mga authors sa manuscript should be placed in your bibliography or in your references. So one-on-one yan, no? Na-mention mo si Cruz, dapat ang pangalan ni Cruz ay lumabas sa list of references. Kompleto ng detalye. Kasi dun sa tinatawag nating citation, pangalan man lang, apelyido at saka year, author date man lang. Pero dito sa references, kompleto na yan. Yung pangalan, yung year, yung title ng libro or thesis or any material which you use, yung title niya, galing ba yan sa journal, isasama niyo yung pangalan ng journal. And kung pagkatapos yan, yung place of publicity, the publication and the place of the publication. Yan kung quantitative. Pero kung qualitative, kung libro siya, bibliography. Pero bibliography is coming from the web. So instead of saying the public or mentioning the publication, ang isusulat nyo doon ay yung website. Kailan nyo binuksan, date, retrieve, and then the website. But in the new ruling from APA, which we are following, hindi na pinalalagyan ng date retrieve, diretso na siya website. Okay, i-introduce din kayo dyan. I-introduce ko sa inyo, ano yung mga bago sa APA? Ano yung mga bago? Kasi may bago ng listahan, nasa ano na tayo number 7 edition na ng APA. So marami na silang binago. So after that, ilalagay nyo naman ngayon yung mga sample, idudugtong nyo sa appendices. What are the appendices? Okay? Yung, what is this? Yung questionnaire ninyo or yung kung test ba ang ginamit or is it interview guide, you have to place a copy of them in your appendices. And of course, you have your documentations, no? Kasi hindi ko naman kayo sasabihan na isubmit lahat ng appendices, yung mga letters coming from the principal, from the dean, from the principal. We will forgo with that, no? Nahihirapan kayo magpunta sa mga opisina ngayon. So without yung munang mga laman lang, never mind with those things, except for those which you are going to make, like the questionnaires or the so-called test, kung magte-test ka, or the so-called interview guide, kung magkwa-quali ka. And of course, a document of the pictures of the members. Kunan nyo ng picture kapag nagdi-defend kayo, ilagay nyo rin doon. That would make your work beautiful and presentable. As I have said, gawin nyo po ang magandang project kasi po i-display ang trabaho ninyo sa accreditation room so that we will be proud also. Kaya nga, ang paper ninyo, pako-correctionan nyo muna bago nyo i-finalize. Okay? Questions, please. May mga tanong kayo?
Ma'am, will we have the usual exams here, like prelims, midterms, pre-finals, finals?
No. I don't think. Basta research, walang test. Kasi kailangan, ang produkto ninyo ay yung mga i-assign na mga like these proposals. No? Yes. Ever since, I have not given test in research. But you will show your exams permit. Yun lang. Kunyari, naka-schedule ngayon ang prelims. So magbabayad kayo niyan. May test naman kayo sa iba. Pero sa subject ko, wala. ipakikita nyo lang ang permit ninyo. That would be enough. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, that's a good question because in research, hindi minememorya ang natututunan ng research by doing the research. Hindi siya yung minememorya natin or kaya yung when we do it, we learn from it. It's really learning by doing. Yan ang research. Yes, any other question? Wala si Jack, Chris.
Ang kitatyan na to karon tayo minibo og kana.
Ano yun, ma'am?
Kitatyan nimo karon na kuan do about sa research is wala mo gud siya sa atong classroom.
You will have. You will have.
Oh, thank you.
And then of course,
Yes, Doc.
said it's learning by doing sa module. What you have to do is to consult. Actually, ang paggawa ninyo,
Yes.
by consultation tayo, by group consultation tayo. Kaya group chat. Kasi pag nag-meeting tayo, yung gagamitin natin, yung group chat ninyo. Doon tayo mag-uusap niya. You will be the one to tell me, ma'am, namin magpa-consult, ma'am. Okay, anong time? So kayong wag tayong wag yung gumagastos tayo. Pwedeng gamitin naman natin yung messenger, hindi ba? We can use the messenger or kahit itong klase natin, pwede man yata gamitin ito. Para sa virtual meeting natin. Ang wag tayo do sa medyo magbabayad tayo kapag sumusobra na ang oras ng meeting. But as much as possible, wag din natin gawing masyadong mahaba ang meeting. So by that, I can also check, kasi makikita ko rin ang mga mukha ninyo, sino ba yung nagtratrabaho, ganon, ano yung problema ng iba, para natutulungan din sila if they cannot appear also in the group chat. Okay? As I said, you will learn by doing. And you will learn more if you are already on the process. So by this time, I hope magbabasa na kayo, nakagrouping na kayo, magbabasa na kayo ngayon in order for you to come up with your title. Although I said the title is not yet final. But before reading, mag-isip na kayong mga group members, anong gusto nating title? You settle first on one title. Kahit na hindi pa siya yung talagang title, and then look for reading materials. Because the title may be accepted, but with some editing considerations para mapaganda ang title. Okay?
Yes,
I
Doc.
would be happy if there will be, some of you will be making qualitative studies. Maganda mag-qualitative. Mas mafi-feel mo kasi ang data mo ay galing sa experiences ng tao. Most of my studies now are under my advisorship are qualitative studies. More on phenomenological studies, experiences. Ang gandang pakinggan. Ang gandang basahin yung kung ano yung nangyayari sa totoong buhay. So hindi numero ang ginagamit kung hindi yung buhay ng taong pinag-uusapan. But you can also go for quantitative. Maganda rin ang quantitative. Numero ang kailangan. Okay. Other questions? If there is none, I would give you the time now to discuss among yourselves. What are you going to decide on the choice of titles that you will include? Ang dami pang nasa labas. Paano ba sila makukunan ng pictures? Will somebody please take pictures? Sinong mas magaling magkuha ng mga pictures? 13 silang nasa labas eh. Ang hindi nakapasok dito sa kwan natin. How do we get all the faces to be in? Ayan, dumami na. Dumami na ba? Meron pa rin nasa labas. Marami nga kayo eh. Okay. Can I have the last picture now? Mag-live na naman kayo para sa ating picture. Ma'am Jonaline Obeso. Yung kwan, medyo pasok kayo, pasok. I-off lang ang sound, i-off ang sound. Okay, thank you very much. So I give you now your time to discuss among yourselves. And kindly submit already the names of your members, no? Sir Rex, were you able to get a group now, Sir Rex?
I don't have pa, ma'am.
Sino yung pinakausap natin na isasali ka?
Rex, gi-add na ka na sa mong group.
Ayun na, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am G3.
Gi-add na ka, sir, ni Ma'am Margie.
O, sinong wala pa?
G.
So, pakisubmit ang mga pangalan. Yes, ma'am, kasumpat. Masumpat, I mean. Wala ka pong group, ma'am? O, kaninong grupo pang kulang? Si ma'am Elisil, kulang ng, meron pa siya, hindi pa siya, wala pa siyang grupo. Sino pang kulang? So, which five in a group? 5. Sige lang, ma'am Elisil, magkakaroon ka, dahil marami pa yan eh. Magkuhan ka lang, maglagay ka lang sa group chat, ma'am Elisilma, no? Lagay mo na you're looking for a group where you would be made as a member. Lagay mo lang sa group chat natin. There will be some who will be calling you. Okay? Are there other questions? Kung wala na, thank you for listening. I do not know, you just watch, no? Baka merong pumasok ngayon na webinar yata. Parang may papasok na webinar. Kaya nga hindi ko itinuloy yung conference dahil sa webinar na yan. Dahil hindi pwede ng half day lang ang aking conference research. During the conference, you should be there. Ang conference, research conference ito, para ito sa inyo. Para makita ninyo anong ginagawa sa mga researches. And this time, the presenters are all faculty members, including the Vice President for Academics. Magre-present sila. Pag marami na ang presenters, I will give way. Pero kung kulang sila, I will also present my own study. And that would be on March, probable date is March 20. Sa March 20 pa. Pero today, baka mamaya, sabihan kayo na umattend. That's going to be at 9 o'clock. Unless there are questions, then I would say thank you very much for listening and see you again next meeting.
Thank you, Doc.
Before I forget,
Thank you, Doc.
okay, please do not forget we have our consultations.
Thank you,
The
Doc.
consultations doesn't mean to say all this time. Okay, see you again.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc. Bye.
Welcome po.